President Trump is considering firing the man overseeing the Russia investigation. That's Bob Mueller's boss, the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who actually has the power to fire Mueller. And that's a red line for the Republican chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley. Here's what he said.
I think it would be suicide for the president to fire him. I think the less the president says about this whole thing, the better off he will be.
To be clear, he's talking about Bob Mueller, and the New York Times is reporting just at this moment that Trump sought to fire Mueller in December after there were reports that Mueller subpoenaed Trump and the Trump family bank records at Deutsche Bank. Now, those reports turned out to be inaccurate, and Trump stood down. Out front now, Democratic Congresswoman Jackie Speer, who's a member of the House Intelligence Committee. And Congresswoman, as always, good to have you with me. First, the breaking news, the president is considering firing Rod Rosenstein, who, of course, has the direct authority to fire Bob Mueller. Do you believe the president is getting ready to get rid of Mueller?
Well, we certainly don't know what the president is about to do, but he has certainly been signaling his interest in wanting to do just that. He wants this investigation to come to an end. He doesn't respect the rule of law and has shown in recent months an hubris and an uber confidence that I think could be very dangerous in the White House. I think the adults who have been supervising him have mostly left, and I think he feels that he can do almost anything he wants, much like he ran his family business. But this is a country of laws, not of men, and he has not been very good at recognizing that.
Now, you have been warning that firing Mueller was possible since last year. In fact, the New York Times reporting he sought to fire Mueller in December, and you warned about it in December. Here's what you said.
The rumor on the Hill when I left yesterday was that the president was going to make a significant speech at the end of next week, and on December 22nd, when we are out of D.C., he was going to fire Robert Mueller.
Now, of course, he didn't do it, but the New York Times is reporting tonight that he was considering doing just what you said in December. Here, though, is what your Republican colleagues are saying about the situation with Bob Mueller right now.
Well, the president has the ability to do that, but I don't see him doing that.
I think it would be a mistake to fire him, so I don't think his job is in jeopardy.
I don't think he's going to be removed. I think he'll be allowed to finish his job.
Is that enough?
Well, I hope they're right. And if the president takes this road not followed by others, I think he will reap the consequences. And Saturday night massacres happened some decades ago. If he chooses to do it midweek, it's still going to be a massacre for him as well.
You heard Chuck Grassley say it would be suicide to fire Mueller. Do you believe, look, Republicans are saying right now, essentially, he's not going to do it. Don't worry about it. We don't need to protect him legislatively. That is Bob Mueller, right? So if the president does do something to get rid of Bob Mueller, do you have the full confidence that your Republican colleagues, Cornyn, Ernst, all the ones you just heard there, Grassley, that they will stand up then and say that is not okay?
Not at all, because every time they make a very strong statement that I see as being very courageous, they walk it back for whatever reasons, whether it's in their districts or the White House. So I don't have a lot of confidence. But what I do have confidence in is that this investigation doesn't end if he goes through the process of firing Rod Rosenstein and then Robert Mueller, because the investigation is still being conducted by those within the FBI who are going to continue to do their job, and the Justice Department as well.
So let me ask you, though, because right now, obviously, you've got the Russia investigation, but the development that the president is most upset about, that is driving this canceling of his trip to South America, talking about firing Rod Rosenstein, has to do with the raid on his personal attorney, Michael Cohen. And we understand a lot of the materials sought, although not all, sources tell me, but a lot were related to Stormy Daniels. A Quinnipiac poll out today, Congresswoman, shows a majority of Americans, 73%, say the president's alleged affair with Stormy Daniels is not an important issue, and a majority of Democrats also agree with that. That's not just Republicans. Do you worry, Congresswoman, that the Stormy affair and the payment have become too much of a focal point and that Americans simply do not care?
Well, they don't care about the affair, and I understand that. But we do have laws on the books, and whether they care about the laws we have on the books relative to the Federal Elections Commission and when you disclose campaign contributions and when an in-kind contribution must be disclosed, whether the public thinks it's important or not, that is the law, and we must follow the law.